All right, when it comes to marketing, I've seen this big problem for the past 5 years with plumbers and HVAC and most service businesses, to be honest. And honestly, part of it's the marketer's fault as well. So I want to talk about how to communicate effectively to your customers, because a lot of you are actually doing the right things, but not seeing the results they could bring you because, I'll tell you what, it's just not worth paying attention. So let's dive into it. All right, one of the key aspects of marketing is psychology. Like, you should not be in marketing if you are not interested in psychology in some way, shape, or form. Because what you have to do is you have to layer the psychology into everything that you're trying to do as a marketer. And your job is to change the baseline behavior. And a lot of people are going like, well, to change the baseline behavior, I just need to show up in the right places. And there was a period of time where that was enough. Right? Where when people, not enough companies were on Google, but the customers had shifted there was like this early gold rush with SEO and search where everything was lead gen. And nobody who was on lead gen needed brand because the customers had moved, but the industry had not moved in. Now, that is gone. That time has passed. That gold rush is over. So now we're back to baseline, like companies fighting for attention on platforms. Okay. That's what the internet is now. That's why things have gotten so expensive, because they've rebalanced to meet the supply and demand. And of course, Google's trying to take their cut. Home Advisor, Angie's, everybody's like trying to figure out how to make their money, including you. So in my eyes, a lot of the lead gen efforts are okay, and you're going to need to have them. All right. But you also, in order to really convince people to take advantage of your company, you have to communicate well when you do show up for the lead gen. When they need a plumber, what are you saying to convert them over to you versus the next guy? So what I did in preparation for this call or this podcast is I went to I just searched plumber near me in Missoula, Montana, because my parents live in Polson. It's really close. I'm familiar with Missoula. So I was like, yeah, let's just go see what's on these websites. And oh boy, is this fun. So one of the first ones I have is the company name. And this is the headline. This is what greets customers. Company provides premier plumbing and heating services in Missoula, Flathead, Granite, and Ravalli counties. Okay. Nothing about how you treat the customer or how you're different than anybody else. We already know that you do work in this area because we searched on the internet and we happen to be there. Like, that's baseline internet at this point. Another one, heating and plumbing in Missoula since 1978. That's your opening line? All right. And then this one just, it's commercial and residential plumber in Missoula. I want you to think about if you met somebody, okay, who could be your customer in a elevator. Is that the first thing you'd say to them? If they said, hey, what do you do? Commercial and residential plumber in Missoula, right? Well, okay, if they had a need. Let's say you actually needed to convince them to call you. So if they're talking to you, if you and a competitor are standing right next to each other and you have one line that you could say to this person to explain why hire you over someone else, what would you say? And it probably wouldn't be something as generic as commercial and residential plumber in Missoula. It would probably be something that tied in your customer service, that really explained what your goals were with your company and portrayed some little sliver of personality. And that's what people have lost. They've lost the plot. When you could get all the clicks in the world, but if you aren't going to actually meet the customer with their needs or their pain points on the other end, say goodbye to your opportunity. You missed it, especially if somebody else takes advantage of that. So let's think about this in like real terms. And I have a bunch of stock headlines that I've used over years, right? So one of my favorites is when you, like, if we get a click to an ad, we have to greet the customer with a headline and a photo. Okay. Those are the two things that really coalesce to say, here we are. Hello. Right. It's the high of this whole equation. So the photo should show somebody smiling, because people talk with their faces and meet and greet people and pay attention eye to eye. So you want to make sure you have a smile and some eyes on your website. Go get some photos of you smiling, arms crossed with the van in the background, all sorts of stuff. And if you want to see some examples, you can go to themammothplumber.com, which is our template website that is just a fake company that we built, just as an example. Now, the other thing is you should try and get shots of you inside of a kitchen or a home actually talking to the customer. Not doing service, because service is dirty, service is weird. Like, customers don't know what you're doing, but they do know when you're giving them an experience that they want to have. So what that does is that pushes you forward visually, right? First, which is why I say photo first. But then what should you say? And that's where people have a tendency to get tripped up. They just say, commercial plumber and commercial and residential plumber in Missoula. All right. I don't think that's good enough. What about solving your home's biggest plumbing problems? Cool. Or we're the plumbers that your mom loves to call in Missoula. Now, I'll tell you, the reason why the writing has gotten so bad on websites is because people are trying to write for Google, but Google is not your customer. And there are ways to write for Google and satisfy Google and still have the visual landmarks for your customer. And nobody is doing this. Very few, right? I've seen very few marketers in the grand scheme of things actually pay attention to the words they're putting on the page. Now, there's a layer of persuasion that has to happen when you're trying to get somebody to hire you versus somebody else. Now, first thing that people are going to see are your reviews, right? They're going to go, oh, okay, do you have good reviews? What do people say about you? But then they're going to try and go to your website. They're going to try and do a little exploration. And that's where you need to come in with a really good hook. And it doesn't take much, to be perfectly honest. So one of the lines that we have is heating and plumbing in Missoula since 1978. Could be keeping your family warm and your home working since 1978. Helping Missoula's families have solid plumbing since 1978. So different. And that's just a tiny little twist, okay? But it tells the customer that you're actually helping people. And that's not something that we often see when we're looking at websites like these. So moving forward, here's what I want you to do. Load up your website. Take a look at it and go, do I talk like a human? Do I talk like I actually want to do work for this person who's here? Not the algorithm, not Google, but the person who's reading my page. And this explores also into your advertising. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen somebody running a plumbing ad and it says, call us for, and a list of services. No. And the hard part is people like your customers, they don't know what half of those lists of services would be for. They understand the basics, right? Like leaks and plumbing, but they don't know hydrojetting, repiping, or some of the more granular terms. Some do, but the large swath of the consumer base does not. So you have to speak to them about the experiences that they're having or they want, okay? And then what ends up happening is when you do everything right, when you put all this work forward, you win the actual lead on how you talk to them. So keep that in mind and start tweaking moving forward. Even us as a marketing agency, sometimes we let something go and we go, we need to redo that, or we need to rethink that. It happens. Some of this stuff moves so fast, but do everything you can to be appealing to the customer if you really want to grow your footprint in your service area. Hope this is helpful. If you want us to take a look at some of your marketing stuff, you can go to tylerwilliams.net. We do free consults, but only for plumbers, so you're really, really special, and we'd be happy to chat. You have a good one. Thanks.
Let me tell you the tale of Tyler Williams, the marketing man. Born beneath the northern glow, through icy winds and endless snow, one dark night, disaster came, a plumbing failure, a world in shame. Searching online, no ads in sight. No plumber answered in the endless night. The pipes burst wide, the earth gave way. His home was gone, his mother lost. With fists clenched tight to the frozen sky, Tyler made a vow, a mocking cry. Plumbers shall rise, their name shall stand. I will forge their fate with my own hand. Plumbers shall rise, their name shall stand. I will forge their fate with my own hand. Tyler Williams, the marketing man. With cosmic power he built the plan. Fire in his eyes, campaigns in his hand. He builds lost plumbers across the land. From frozen waste to city skies, plumbers thrive where legends rise. Alone through ice and stone, the Alaskan wilds became his home. He fought off bears with furious might and carved a shelter through the night. But cold winds whispered, his breath ran thin. He stumbled weak, his strength grew dim. Then through the storm a shadow tall, a mighty mammoth, a titan's call. I am Mark, the marketing mammoth. Tyler, your time has come. I will teach you the cosmic secrets of persuasion and advertising, ancient marketing magic lost to time. Through my wisdom you shall rise, and the world will always find a plumber in their time of need. Tyler Williams, the marketing man, born of the wild with a mammoth plan. He bends the stars, he shakes the sky. For plumbers lost, he lifts them high. With words like thunder, ads like fire, he turns their dreams into empires. No more shadows, no more doubt. With mammoth power, he pulls built out. For 35 years through frost and fate, he studied with Mark, making marketing great. He grew 10 feet, his beard turned wild. With mammoth wisdom, no longer a child. His eyes burned green with northern light. His voice could shake the stars at night. Then Mark the mammoth raised his head, and to his pupil this is what he said. Tyler, you have mastered the ancient ways, the lost art of persuasion, the magic of marketing. Your time is now, the world is waiting. Plumbers live in darkness, but you shall be their light. Go forth, fly to their shops, make them known across the cosmos. Mark raised his tusks and split the sky. A portal opened, a world passed by. Through time, through space, a rift was torn, and Tyler Williams was reborn as the mythical, fabled, magical marketing man. From shop to shop, lifting plumbers to the top. Through mammoth power, through ads so bright, he brings their business into the light. That was the tale of Tyler Williams, the marketing man.